Welcome back. Over the years, Jozi Book Fair has established itself as one of the most anticipated literature events in Gauteng, set to kick off on the 1st of September till the 4th at the Wits University Science Stadium. Event-goers of all ages can expect to be in the presence of industry giants such as Zakes Mdaki, and many more. And amongst them will be young and up-and-coming stars who have pioneered some of the most unforgettable moments in the country. Now, tell us more about the event. We're joined in our Johannesburg studio by organizer of the book fair, Oupa Lehulere, and then from our Sea Point studios, one of the authors that I'm totally excited about, Mohale Mashego. If she's not singing, she's writing books. Mohale, good morning. Welcome to Winning Live.
Good morning. How are you?
Good, thank you. All right, let's start with you. What does this mean to be part of the Jozi Book Fair, and given the fact that, you know, the industry has received the yearning so well?
Well, this is my first rodeo, and I really didn't expect to be involved in, with the giants like Jozi Book Fair. So for me, everything is exciting at this point. I'm just excited. My book is published. I'm part of Jozi Book Fair. That's got patrons like Zakes Mda. I'm really, really excited.
Yeah. Oupa, 8th edition of the event, how you managed to keep it fresh over the years?
Yes, I think the issue has been to try and make sure that we bring in new audiences every year, and the strategy has been, in addition to trying to keep old audiences that attend book fairs, how do we find new audiences from schools, from communities, from those people who previously haven't been involved in literary events. And the key thing there is that as we grow those audiences, we bring more people into reading, we bring more people into literature discussions, and in that way, I think we keep a certain freshness, we hope, to the event.
Well, how do you then decide which authors or writers are part of the fair each year? This year you've decided to bring Mohale, which obviously for somebody who's read the yearning would say it's for obvious reasons, but then who else and what influences that decision?
Well, I mean, there are various kinds of decisions in bringing in authors to the book fair. The first one, of course, is determined by, we normally from year to year decide on a key theme for the book fair. So I think this year we looked at what we called Youth Rising. And the first, of course, consideration was our guests. We normally have a guest each year. Our guests have to be young.
Yeah.
They have to bring something fresh onto the scene. In other words, in a Youth Rising context, I mean, much as Zake as a patron is an important actor, it wouldn't have worked to have him as the guest of the book fair. So the first kind of choice is, what is our theme, what message we want, in a way, to organize the book fair around. And this year, as we say, it's Youth Rising. So we've had two very young authors, artists, Carol, one of them, Oupa Lehulere, who's a Deutsche Bank artist, Standard Bank Artist of the Year. And in that sense, we think that they'll bring a certain freshness. They have a certain rapport and relationship with young people. I think the second strand really is that the Jozi Book Fair has tried to allow itself to give space to people who basically put their hand up and say, I've got a book, I want to talk about it, I want to engage with other people, and therefore we have a fairly large part of our program that is people volunteer to put up stuff for themselves.
Mohale, let's bring you into this conversation again. I mean, what do events such as the Jozi Book Fair do for upcoming creatives, writers and authors?
Well, I think firstly you get to engage with people who are reading your books, but also you let people, I specifically like the schools part of Jozi Book Fair, because I often felt as a young person that I wasn't really a part of literature, and for a change, young kids who feel the same way that I did when I was younger, that they're not part of literature, get to interact with authors, interact with stories, write stories themselves, and do a bunch of stuff, which is why I think Jozi Book Fair is important.
And let's touch on the yearning. I was talking to a colleague the other day about how the ending is something else. And then, she made me aware that, it's you decide how the story ends as the person that reads the book. Was that what you were going for? Because I said, no, but I don't know. Who's the Sangoma now? Is it the brother? Which one is it?
I get this question all the time. Yeah, I think when I finish the story, I wasn't sure where I was going with it, and then I got to the end and I thought, actually, this is a perfect ending because I don't want to prescribe to people what to think. So it's up to you. And yesterday, actually, I got a very interesting theory from a friend who said, well, I think she actually met her brother in Cameroon. So I was like, oh, okay, great.
With her dad there. Because the whole family might as well move to Cameroon.
This is what I'm saying, and I'm saying it's wonderful that people are interacting with the ending like that. So I was like, okay, I think I did a good thing here.
Although, though, have you had, apart from the ending, have you had people also ask about, you know, the situation with the father in the book as well? Because also that also left me puzzled as well, saying, okay, we've been talking about this man throughout the book, and now, where is he now?
Well, yes, I have had a lot of people. I actually had one woman, she kind of hit me. I don't know if she meant to hit me as hard, but she was like, yeah, what's happening in the story? And I was like, oh, okay, people are really excited about this family element.
You know, Oupa, coming back to you, is this what we're trying to do with the Jozi Book Fair? Books that get readers excited as well, so that we also get a community of reading. And how do we then begin to get youngsters to start reading? Because there's Xboxes now, there's, you know, games, there's, you know, there's only very few youngsters that are actually sitting down and reading.
Yeah, I think we're finding quite interestingly that actually, notwithstanding all the electronic and the games and all of that, that actually with a little bit of work, youngsters are interested in readings. We have a schools program of the Jozi Book Fair that runs. It works throughout the year. And we encourage young people to read books like Carol's books, like Zakes' books and other books, and with the idea that they will actually meet the people that wrote the books. So in advance in the year, and we're finding that in a lot of schools, we work with 50 schools just in Gauteng alone at the moment, and they're able then to read. And also I think to draw them into writing, because I think this year we're launching a book of short stories by high school students. And in that way we find that if people begin not only to read about themselves in literature, but actually are given the space to start writing themselves, you know, they of course draw their peers, and there's a whole kind of dynamic that opens up there, which brings, I mean, quite young audiences into the space.
All right, before I wrap you up, Mahali, what's the music career now? Where's that in the bigger picture now?
Well, right now I'm focusing on The Yearning, but now that it's written, I've sort of been, you know, just messing around a little bit with songs. So I don't know when the music will come back, but I'm sure it'll come back.
All right, we need to continue this conversation about The Yearning, but thank you so much this morning from our Sea Point studios, one of the authors that, the guest authors for the Jozi Book Fair, Mohale Mashego. And then here in our Johannesburg studios is Oupa Lehulere, Book Fair organizer. All right, let's take a quick ad break.